The following program is a production of the Alabama Cooperative Extension Service.
What are we going to have for dinner tonight?
I don't know, but let's have something different.
The sign says crawfish. Don't they look delicious?
Yeah, but how do you eat them?
I don't know.
How are you all doing today? Can I help you with something?
We're doing fine, thank you.
We'd like to try some crayfish.
Hey, how much would you like?
Hello, I'm Michael Masser with the Alabama Cooperative Extension Service. Have you ever faced this dilemma? What do you think about when you think about crawfish? Most people think about crawfish, they think of Louisiana, and particularly the swamps of Louisiana, which are famous for their crawfish cuisine. Today, however, crawfish are being farm raised throughout the southeastern United States, including Alabama. Farm raised crawfish are generally available from December through May. Unfortunately, many consumers don't know how to cook and clean these delicious crustaceans at home. Let us visit a few of these Alabama crawfish farmers and learn how to cook and eat the delicious farm-raised crawfish. We'll start our visit in West Alabama in Hale County on the John and Carolyn Broussard farm. Let's go learn how to cook crawfish. Good morning, y'all. How y'all today? Good morning. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, John. I'd like to introduce y'all. This is John Broussard and his wife, Carolyn. And this is Mr. Barry Bates. Good morning. These are our misplaced Cajuns, displaced Cajuns, whatever they are, that are going to teach us how to cook and eat crawfish this morning. John and Barry are from Louisiana originally. Carolyn's a good old Alabama girl that just happened to marry a Cajun. Anyway, we're here today to learn how to cook and eat crawfish. Carolyn, what are you going to show us today?
Well, I'm going to do my mother-in-law's etouffee, crawfish etouffee, and crawfish pies. She taught me how to do this.
This is a crawfish.
That's it.
Looks good. John?
I'm going to steam some crawfish. I'm going to do a traditional crawfish boil.
Very much like traditional Cajun type boil.
Right, authentic.
And then somebody's going to show us how to peel and eat these things, because that always baffles these non-Cajun eaters.
Yeah, I think we could manage that. No problem. No problem.
All right. We are the guests today of the Broussards. This is their farm on the backside of their farm here in New Bern, Alabama. And this is the Crawjack Shack. All right, Carolyn, tell us what you're doing and how the recipe came about.
Well, basically you have to start chopping your onions first. That's a big job. That's about probably 35% of the process is chopping all the onions. It takes a lot of onions when you make a large pot like I always do. You chop your onions, your jalapeno peppers, your green peppers, your green onions, and then you start them in the pot with the butter, with oleo. This is for the etouffee. And this recipe has been modified down over the months that or the 2 years that I've been cooking it. Started out with a different recipe, and it was more a traditional Cajun recipe that was given to me. And the people in Alabama didn't seem to be too fond of it because it was a little thin. And they liked it, loved the taste, but I got a lot of complaints about it being sort of thin. They wanted it a little bit thicker, so I added a little more mushroom soup to it to make it a little thicker. And some people use cornstarch to thicken it, but I don't. Everybody's got their own way of doing things, and that's just the way I do it. And so far, everybody seemed to like it.
So you start out by chopping the onions and the peppers, bell peppers and jalapenos.
And I've got, in this pot over here, I've got 2 pounds of oleo. and probably 10 pounds of onions, and about 5 bell peppers, and a good bit of garlic, and got that cooking. And I've added some tomato sauce to that. The tomato sauce just enriches the flavor, makes it a little redder color, makes it a little prettier, and it doesn't take a lot. 1 can of tomato sauce will do that whole pot. And I'm about ready to put my mushrooms in.
Let's look and see what it looks like.
All right. Okay, here we have the etouffee started. We have onions, onions, bell pepper, garlic, and jalapeno peppers, and a little tomato sauce to give it a little nice rich color. To this I'm going to add a couple of cans, about 16 ounces of mushrooms. Blend that in. Now, this is the goo part, the cream of mushroom soup. This acts as an enricher and a thickening agent to hold it all together. Because when you add the crawfish tails, it looks awfully thick right now, but as you add the tails and they start to cook, they make water. Sometimes you'll find that it's not thick enough, because these Alabama folks like it a little thicker, and you have to add cornstarch, and I don't like to do that. I like to try to keep it thick enough with the mushroom soup.
Carolyn, how long were you cooking the onions and the peppers now?
I cooked them down about 45 minutes to an hour. I like to cook them till they clarify a little. Just to, so when you're eating it, you don't get a big hunk of onion or pepper or something, because these jalapeno peppers can be mean when you bite down on one. You want to cook them so they blend in and won't be too bad if you get a hold of a big bite of one. I think we're ready to add the crawfish tails. Now for this pot, I'm making about 2.5 gallons of etouffee today. In this pot. This pot is a 3-gallon pot, but you can't fill it up because you'll slosh it out when you're trying to stir. And this is 8 pounds of tail meat. See the water that it's making already? That's in the pack. We buy these tail meat from out of Eunice, Louisiana. It's already clean.